The business community of the entire world is receiving a message about countries now moving towards clean, alternative, renewable energy and trying to reduce their carbon footprint. That is going to spur massive investment, and it's technology, it's American ingenuity and creativity that is really going to solve this problem.
It's all fine and dandy for people of any and no political affiliation to talk about making the planet a cleaner place to live. End of the day, most people are in agreement that something needs to be done to clean up the rampant pollution of so many other countries before everybody runs out of breathable air. But the one thing that is often conveniently forgotten in the conversation is the price, what the cleanup will cost, and what climate change recommendations and edicts will cost governments and, in the end, you, the taxpayers. Let's begin there on the dime. Welcome back to veteran syndicated columnist, professor of business at the University of Maryland, Peter Morici, joined by the veteran economist and author of The American Dream Under Fire, Steve Beaman. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. And learned Professor Morici, if you will, please, let me begin with you, because here's the Washington Post, the headline. Climate change is going to cost a lot more than previously thought. It's a study from the New York University School of Law's Institute for Policy Integrity. How much is it going to cost, and how bad was this deal in Paris?
It's going to cost amounts that cannot be calculated. I mean, we can see the impact on manufacturing by permitting the Chinese to continue to pollute and pollution grow while we restrain our industry. Jobs will go there. That I can count. However, this global shift to cleaner energy and to cleaner industry is very difficult to fathom. We know there are going to be winners. I mean, if you're in the solar technology business or in the manufacturing design business, you're going to make out pretty well because there are going to be all kinds of new systems that have to be designed. Petroleum companies, they're not going to be as rich as they once were or could have been, even once energy prices recover. That kind of thing is very difficult to fathom. It's kind of like the invention of the railroad and the building of the rail system west. I mean, a lot of people were put out of business and a lot of great wealth was generated. In this case, we're not expanding the pie by doing this, but we're reacting to a new constraint. So don't let anybody like John Kerry tell you anything about economics that he doesn't know about. When you impose another restraint on a system, it generally means that it becomes poorer. How much poorer is tough to calculate.
So, Steve, let me get back to John Kerry here, because he talks about massive technologies, America moving forward, and he paints a very nice picture about the fact that America should be able to move everything forward and we should be at the leadership role when it comes to making a planet cleaner. All right, as I said, sounds real good. But what's he missing on the reality side?
Well, I think the number I saw is a $100 billion wealth transfer from the developed economies to the undeveloped economies, which isn't really a surprise. That's part of this government's agenda anyway, is to redistribute our wealth down to the underdeveloped countries. But this whole thing in Paris, I think, may be much ado about nothing in some ways. I think it requires 55 developed nations to sign on to it. You can bet your bottom dollar China's not going to agree to this. I'm not sure it's going to do that much. But, the bigger thing, to Peter's point, the uncalculated costs of these kinds of things are enormous. You look at what we've done to the coal industry in this country, to the people's lives who have been affected by this. This has just got massive cost. And it is, that $100 billion number is just the beginning.
All right, Peter, back to you. Let's get on to number two here. The Fed, all the talk that this week, no doubt, it will happen. Go ahead, book it, set it in stone. Wait a minute, hang on a sec. I'm counting now. That's at least 17 times I think I've said that to you in an interview sometime. But, Peter, we're told that this is the week that the Fed will raise the interest rates. Good idea, bad idea, will it happen?
Oh, I think it's high time. Low interest rates are causing a lot of distortions in the economy, and they don't do much more to help us, get rid of unemployment. That's caused by things like Obamacare and other structural problems. Inflation is already running at 2% if you subtract energy prices. We don't want it higher than that. But this move is not without risks. The U.S. economy is being buffeted by a very strong dollar, thanks to the divergence in monetary policy between the United States and China, and the fact that China is using protectionism, as is Japan, as is Europe, to buffet what are very weak economies for reasons that are no fault of ours. So there are risks here, but I'm afraid these are risks we have to take. So if this blows up in Janet's face, don't look to me to criticize her.
Steve, on the other side of this, there are people saying, wait a minute, there's still not a lot of wage growth right here. And here's the thing that I keep hearing more than ever, that there's this monstrous hole in American unemployment left by the Great Recession. So this is a terrible time to do this.
Well, I think as Peter, suggests, there's never a good time to do this, but we have to put value back in capital. We've got to re-incentivize savings. We've got to re-incentivize true economics here. And this zero rate policy the Fed's had is distorting an awful lot of things. So I think it has to happen. I think most of the people on the inside of finance want it to happen. But to Peter's point, Janet's going to try a very slow raise here. And if it blows up, that's not her fault. It's the bubble that's been built. I don't think it will blow up. I think it's already built into the markets. I think it'll be a moot point.
20 seconds to you then, Steve. Last word here. How low can oil go? Let's see. Brent crude last time I checked was $36.33 a barrel. I don't know about you, but I'm liking paying under $2 a gallon for gas.
Well, you talk about a double-edged coin. We got the consumer who's in love with this, but we have states like Alaska and countries like Russia who are frightened by it. I don't know how much lower it's going to go. I wouldn't suspect much. I think we're going to see equilibrium more in the 40s. But I think in the short term, consumers, enjoy it. Let's have a good Christmas season.
20 seconds to you then, Peter. Yeah, that's right. Alaska's talking about higher taxes now, and they're going to take away all the subsidies they basically pay taxpayers now. They're panicking in Alaska, Peter.
Well, I think they should get set for lower oil prices long term. Oil could dip below $30 a barrel for a brief period, but I don't think it's going to settle up at much more than 45 or 50 next year. And beyond that, it's not going to go back to its old levels. So Alaska does need to go to its plan B.
And we just keep hoping for dollar gas. Nope, wait, I don't want to say that out loud. Never again. Steve Beaman, Peter Morici, gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you both. I think this is the last time that I'm probably going to see you until the new year. All right, stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes of news. The Hard Line continues next with heroes that cannot go unnoticed or unpunished in telling it like it is.